to say who wants to help me out? Everybody.
I will.
Oh,
No.
Fresh meat for the grind. There you go. Fresh meat for the grind. Gonna be famous, all right? All right.
It's great when you watch somebody else make that mistake. I mean,
all right. How many of you are like trained with one of the groups around here? Pretty much almost everybody. Okay, so we're going to go through some basic curriculum stuff, okay? Now, a little bit of history. When me and Stan first started training with Professor, we were not allowed to use our left hand. At least I wasn't. Were you allowed to use? I mean, right hand.
Right hand.
Yeah, I was never allowed to use my right hand.
You had to go to the left.
Had to go to the left, and only the guy who's getting beat on is right-handed. So over a period of time, you know, I had to, once Professor passed away, I had to figure out how to teach the same stuff that Professor was teaching us to somebody who's more right-handed. So, in case a lot of people don't realize it, what we call puño mano, you know, puño mano, is actually arnis di mano, okay, from modern arnis, right? And as I go through a lot of these techniques, I'll show you the way it's taught in the curriculum, and then I'm gonna have my partner freeze frame, and I'm gonna switch hands, and you can see how it's exactly the same thing, right? So what I do with the guys who train directly with me, I try to alter the way they think, okay? Because most of the time we're taught, you know, curriculum, we're taught the process, we're taught, you know, this is the methodology of it. I take a more cerebral, mental approach to it, okay? I'm not looking to train people to follow any particular way. I'm training people to be able to, how you say, survive within the environment, okay? So to think freely, okay? That's what I'm looking for, is to train, you know, my students to be free thinkers, to understand the techniques and not just to regurgitate it, all right? And because a lot of people, they try to imitate what I do, and you know what, I'm flattered. That's great, but stop it, okay? Because if my students imitate what I do, the system will not evolve, okay? When I'm no longer around, the system will devolve, because everybody's trying to do what I do or did, and there's always going to be some stuff that's forgotten, you know? So I encourage everybody, you know, make it yours, do with it as you will, and give back to the family, you know, once you come up with something, you know, as long as it's something good. All right, if it sucks, keep it to yourself. All right, so you guys know the first variation of tappy tap, all right? Some of you guys, I mean, that's pretty much the beginning of, you know, how we teach FPS, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm looking to stand.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I need to know what you guys are learning. That way, you know,
Okay.
I don't go whew, over the top. Okay.
You good?
So we have our basic 4 count, right? Okay. We have our basic entry here. Okay. Right. And it comes with the back fist. Comes with the back fist. Right. And then it comes with that. I feed back fist, he checks, and he comes over the top, and then we clear out. There you go. Okay. Pretty much how it's been done for the last, what, 40 years? Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot there. Now, Professor, the reason he called it modern arnis was because, okay, back in the day, you know, we target each other's hands, okay, when we're learning stick work, all right? So when you trained with an instructor in the Philippines back in the day, traditionally, you had to bring 3 things, okay? One, okay, is a new shirt, because a lot of times the instructor's shirt could get all messed up, okay? You know, from blood, whatever, right? And shirts were expensive, okay. Next thing, a white sheet, okay? Because sometimes, you know, in case you get killed in the training, they wrap you up and, you know, drop you off, right? Number 3, the most important part, is a bottle of alcohol, right? So in case, did you hear about that?
No, I didn't.
You guys know what Blanton's is? How many bourbon drinkers we got here? Okay, there's no shame in it. Right? So, just as a social experiment, okay, in Kentucky, our biggest event in the U.S., I told everybody, all the up-and-coming instructors, okay, I can't be bought, but I can be bribed. You have to bring me a bottle of Blanton's. And I wouldn't do it anywhere else in the world, but I knew that in Kentucky, if you go to the Buffalo Trace Distillery, you can get a bottle of Blanton's for like $60. Anywhere else, it's like $300, right? Wow. So I came home with 14 bottles of bourbon, of Blanton's. And I'm like, you know what? I should have thought of this years ago. I got a whole wall of Blanton's now. Anyway, back to the whole traditional part of it. That was my own take on the traditional part of it, right? And so the sheet, the shirt, and the booze, okay? I don't know where I was going with that. Anybody testing
The three things that you brought anytime you trained in the Philippines.
Yeah. Anyway, so from here, okay, so when I come back with this, I do a scooping motion, okay? Puño mano is about maintaining your center line position, all right? Okay, when I first started fighting, I was like 13 years old, and since I was like $150 and everybody else was $20, all right, I got stuck in super heavyweight. So everybody else outweighed me by almost 100 pounds, all right? So I'm like, okay, how do I survive this one? You know, I'm tough and I'm wiry, okay? That's only gonna take you so far, right? So I realized if I maintain center line, okay, the same way that like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you know, gets inside your guard, okay, why they're so effective, because once you're in this position and the guy's in center line, you have a hard time now, all right? And I realize the same thing applies with stick work and most any type of weapon work, right? Even when you do a lot of shooting, a lot of the punch shooting is some of the fastest draws you can get, right? If you draw around around the world, it's going to be a lot slower and less effective. So I realized from here, instead of, oh yeah, Remy, okay, the way he looked at modern knees, that's what I was going with. I get into these stories, you have to excuse me. We do that when we get older. Remy said that the reason it's called modern arnis is because now he made it a lot safer to train. Okay, that's where the shirt and the boots came in. You still keep the boots part. Right? Being safer to train, okay? That being said, a lot of the drills, the way Remy taught us, was because people were getting smacked in the head because if you train the old way, you know, you get smacked in the head and you realize, okay, I got to block. So a lot of techniques now, when you see this move, okay, here, okay, it's just because you don't want to injure your partner, because you lose a lot of students like that. Back in the day, you drop the stick and you come in with a peek. Now we pick the stick up, there's your hit, right? So that's what I mean by, you know, modern arnis, okay? Right? So anyway, back to the 4 count. When I feed that puño, I scoop, right? And then I grab the stick, okay? That's where, you know, this comes into play. And I feed back, and it comes in with the puño, we clear, okay? And then we go back to it. Now there's a lot of stuff missing here, right? So let's go to one of the first things that's missing from here. Once you grab the stick, okay, you can go outside this way or you can go this way, right? We're gonna go this way first, right? From here, I'm gonna use the puño to drag him in and cross his hands over. Once I get to that position, right there is where he drops, okay? So however you get to it, once you grab that stick, right? Okay. So if you look at this, feed, clear, grab the stick, feed, and drop, okay? You guys got it? Really?
One more again.
One more time, all right. Okay, so for you guys who are working on curriculum, I'm gonna take it right off our #1 tappy tappy. For you guys who are just looking for the technique, however you grab the stick, you can come in this way and then you grab it, okay? Feed, cross feed, okay? It goes over the crook of the elbow and you do a puño. See how the puño crosses it over? Puño out and then down, okay? Got it? Start? All right.